Are you a self-storage owner or operator looking for service providers to help at your facility? Well, the Storage Business Owners Alliance, also known as the SBOA, has you covered. The SBOA is a premier online hub for connecting self-storage owners and operators to industry-leading products and service providers. We provide one-stop shopping for your business with exclusive offers to save time and money. At the SBOA, we believe by coming together, we help owners and operators grow revenue, gain purchasing power, reduce expenses, improve efficiencies, and increase profitability. We also offer many resources such as our conferences and self-storage unlock webinars to help self-storage owners and operators gain the knowledge needed to become more competitive in the industry. To become an SBOA member or to find out more information, please visit www.thesboa.com today. We can't wait for you to join the Alliance.
Good morning, everyone. I'm used to saying good afternoon because we normally do self-storage unlocked at 2 p.m., but we had to make a pivot for today and start a little bit earlier due to a schedule conflict. So thanks for joining us today. If you're out there, please drop us your name and where you're from in the comment section. For those of you that don't know me, I'm Jessica Johnson. I'm the Vice President of the Storage Business Owners Alliance, better known as the SBOA. And with me today, I have Iris, who's our marketing manager. Thanks for being here, Iris.
Hi, great to be here.
And then I do see a comment already over in the comment sections. Will you get a link later to watch the replay? For those of you that don't know the way our process works, every Friday, so we do these on Thursdays typically, we usually do 2 a month. And then on Friday, the replay will be available on our YouTube channel. So please go to our YouTube channel and hit subscribe. Since we're talking about social media today, what better way to start than subscribing to our YouTube channel? So thanks for that question, Stacy. Iris, give us a little bit of background about you and what you do for the SBOA.
So I have been the marketing manager since March, but I've been in marketing for a good 10 years, maybe longer. There's things that you don't think of as marketing, but they're actually marketing. You know, when I had an eBay business, I was marketing that and that kind of thing.
Oh, heck yeah. That's marketing.
Yeah. And when I got into college, I started doing social media marketing as a volunteer service for the Ann Arbor Film Festival. Yeah. And that was when I learned that social media really can be a full-time job. Like, I didn't really believe that before, but when you're posting 53 events that happen in 1 week, it's definitely a full-time job.
and it can be. And the intention of today's session is a few things, right? We want to teach owners and operators that you can easily execute social media marketing on your own. It needs to be part of your overall marketing strategy. It is a component of it. And it's one that I fear gets ignored because of awareness, education. People don't know what they should be doing, posting, how often, etc. So we want to kind of break some of those barriers for you and let you know that you can do this on your own. But if you're ever in a situation where you don't feel comfortable doing this on your own, there are plenty of marketing agencies that you can go out there, third party, hire to do this work for you, that have content writers, copywriters, social media strategists. I mean, it depends on, how large you want to go with this. But I do want to talk a lot today about the importance of social media. We're in a digital era, whether you like it or not. So being online and being visible online is super critical and super important. And we just want to make sure that you're utilizing this and utilizing it to the way that you should be. So I'm going to add a presentation deck to the stream. We don't normally put presentation decks up here, but for today's purpose, we will, because there's a lot of stuff that I want you to visually see and hear from us today. So we'll add this in and we're just going to kick this off. And this is pretty easy. Social media marketing made easy. It is not as complicated as you think. And I don't want people to steer away from this because it is important. And there are studies that are showing that social selling, if you watch TikTok, people say TikTok made me buy it. It's a real thing. TikTok makes me buy a lot of stuff that I probably don't need. But when I'm watching these social selling videos of these influencers and brands that they support, or if they're creators and they're making custom, tumbler cups, etc., they're on there selling, and they're selling lots of it. So it's something I think everybody should be aware of. So we're just going to dive in. And for the audience to get started here, if you could put in the chat area, if you use social media and what platforms are like your most favorite, and you can abbreviate FB for Facebook, LI for LinkedIn, YT for YouTube, but go ahead and put those in the comment section for us. Just want to kind of get a gauge of who everyone or what everyone is using for social media, what their preferences are, and more specifically, like to your business, right? Because there's lots of different channels out there. So take a second and put that in there. Also, if you could take a second and look at the poll questions, they're on the right-hand side of your screen. Go ahead and answer those polls. And if you have questions for us, like Stacy did, put those questions in the comment section. So these stats right here are people that are using social media and how many people, and these are a little dated. They're back from like the March timeframe of this year, but they're still relevant. See lots of Facebooks coming in. Facebook is king aside from Google. So, and the cool thing is Facebook and Instagram they're owned by the same thing. So they're integrated. I see some use all, IG, LinkedIn, and TikTok, personal faves. Cool. I love that. TikTok's becoming my new fave. And if you would have asked me a year ago if I like TikTok, the answer would have been no. I thought it was annoying. And now I'm on that sucker every day. So you can see the power in these numbers here, right? YouTube is dominating. It is a Google product. Google's always going to dominate, and these are US numbers. This is not worldwide. So if we were to take this globally, those numbers would be even higher. But I wanted to do this based off US numbers because obviously that's most relevant to all of us here today. Most of us are not operating in different countries. So you can see the power right there of the usage. Now, I have a quick trick question, maybe not a trick question, but a question for the audience. If you were to guess the amount of hours an average person spends on social media per day, put that in the comment section for us. How many hours a day do you think people are on social media? And I'll throw in a little teaser here. Randall said, didn't you just make dinner using TikTok? I was sharing my recipe on TikTok.
Randall follows you.
Listen, I'll be a cooking influencer before you know it.
There you go.
Doubt that. I'm not the best cook. And I do have a guest with me today. We have a new kitten in the house who is climbing on my back. So please ignore that. We're just going to let her kind of do her thing.
19 hours.
19 hours a day. Girl, you need to find something else to do. No, I'm just kidding. So let's go into the next slide and we'll talk about this. Whoever gets close to, I'm going to toss out a free $10 Starbucks gift card, whoever gets the closest. So give you a couple more minutes to answer that. How many hours a day do you think the average person is spending on social media? And let's all pray that they're doing that outside of the workday, right? That they're doing this on their personal time.
Unless
but we
they're
all
in marketing.
Know, unless they're in marketing, like Iris and I are on social media all day, but it's because it's what we do. It's what we do, right? All right. So get those answers in. And here we go. So here's social media usage. I'm going to bump this out a little bit just so you can see it in case it's tough to see on the screen. The average person is using social media for almost 2.5 hours a day. 2.5 hours a day. Like that's a good amount of time, 2.5 hours a day. This is a 2-minute increase since 2021. So 2-minute increase year over year, and then the highest usage ever recorded in the history of social media being around. And then you can see this is a breakdown per platform. After that, the average person's about on Facebook 33 minutes, TikTok 29, Twitter 29, Instagram 28, Snapchat 27. So those are some good stats. I don't know why I don't have LinkedIn in there. I probably should put that one in there. But these are some good stats to kind of keep in mind, as you're doing this, and what platforms you should even be on for your business, because we're talking about business. And there is the cat climbing on my head again. So she's probably going to have to go in the other room here in a minute. And I just wanted to quickly go over the marketing funnel with you, just so you guys can understand, how all this should be funneling in. So again, I'll bump this out a little bit more. The general marketing funnel in any scenario where you're trying to get brand awareness out there and your products and services, it all starts with awareness, what you're doing to attract people in. People are looking for information. Then it's going to go into their consideration process. They found you, they're checking you out, they're going to check out your products and services, and they're going to review it, and they're going to compare it most likely to your competitors. After that, we go into conversion. Obviously, conversion is the key. We want to make sure our conversion metrics are working. And conversion, as this is related to self-storage, is obviously people renting units from you. So conversion metrics are super important. And then the last part is keeping them loyal and engaged. And that's just going to be basic, customer service that you will do with them, retention, hopefully when tenants leave your property, they come back. I can speak from my own experience. I had a really great experience with a local self-storage company. I had to rent from them on 3 separate occasions, and they were the first thing that came to mind because I was a previous tenant, had a good experience there. Why research other options? It was close to my house. The pricing was comparative to the competitors in the local market. So I just went with what I felt comfortable with. But that facility and the way they managed it and the way they operated and the way they had their people, making sure customer service was executed is what did that. So that's just a quick overview of the marketing funnel and how we want to attract people in. We'll talk about lead magnets as we go further along on this presentation. So again, we want to talk about why social media is important. Iris, I'll let you go over these points. I'm going to bump this out a little bit.
So, the number one thing is it builds brand awareness. Everybody wants you want to be recognized, and probably a step you want to take before you start your social media is to make sure you have a brand established. At least within your company, you have your logo, you have your colors, you have, everything kind of set. And we'll talk about that in a minute. In Canva, it makes it really easy to put that together. It also allows you to nurture your leads and followers. You're staying in contact. Make sure you're being social in social media. Don't just post and walk away. You want to look around. You want to share other people's content, interact a little bit every day. And it will also help increase your website traffic, especially if you add some links in there, something that links back to your website. That is a huge help. It can showcase your social proof to prospective consumers. So, if you are looking for a business, you might check Facebook to see if they're on there. And if they're not, or if they haven't posted in a long time, you're going to think, well, maybe they've gone out of business. Maybe they're not really very legitimate, kind of a thing. Can also help you grow an audience quickly and organically. You will generate potential leads and followers. You can build a community. Another great thing to do is join some community groups as your business. So you can see if they are looking for sponsors, maybe for a softball team or something that can get your name out there and become part of the community, not just on the internet, but also in your actual physical community. Gives you the opportunity for social listening, see what other people are talking about. And it can position you as an industry thought leader. it helps you to be TOMA with consumers. And I'll let Jessica explain TOMA.
That's an acronym that it is a known acronym, but we'll go over that in a minute.
And you can make sales directly within social platforms, which is always great.
Yeah, and that's the key, right? And for self-storage, the trend that we're seeing, right, is people aren't really going to Facebook or social media to find you necessarily. They may come across one of your ads, depending on how you mapped out your advertising and your local, geo mapping. But what I want to say with that is what you can do if the pages are built right, you can redirect them to your website. And that's where they're going to do the transaction, right? That's where they're going to rent the unit or reserve the unit online. You can also do a little bit of that through social media, through some of the call to actions, which we'll talk about later. But they can request quotes from you. They can call you right from social media. So it's important, and you need to be out there and you need to be doing this. TOMA is top of mind awareness with consumers, top of mind awareness. So like I said, they might not be going to Facebook or Instagram or LinkedIn or TikTok to transact with you. But if they follow your page or they like your page, you're naturally going to become part of that newsfeed algorithm that they're going to see. They're going to see your information and what you post. So the more you post, the more top of mind you can become for that person, where they go, oh, I need storage. And I keep seeing this storage post from this storage company. They've got these purple and orange colors. Let me go back and see if I can find who that is. So definitely want to be out on social media. And these are some of the reasons why it's important for your business. So just wanted to go over getting started for those of you that are maybe new owner operators, or even if you're a current owner operator that does not have a social media page built yet. We need to get one built for you. So each of the platforms, it's a very simple process. There's online tutorials that will help make sure that you do your business page and your listing accurately. The good thing is all of them, I think, if not most of them, if not all of them, prompt you through every single step. You put your business name in here, you put your description here, you put your website here, your phone number here, your hours of operation, on and on and on. So we don't recommend using your personal account to tie into your business page. You can even set up a separate page to link that business page into. And there's a few reasons. Some of these larger players like Facebook could see that and see that you're using your personal page for commercial use and shut your personal page down. So we don't ever want that to happen. And then if you were to ever need a third-party service, or you have a team of people working for you, have an intern or you have a marketing manager like we do with Iris, you can easily give them all of those logins to get in, and then they're not sifting through your personal information and your personal messages. I don't want anybody looking at my Facebook personal messages on my team. I can tell you that much. So we do recommend not using your personal account. And then, like I said, setting up the business profile. If you're doing this, it's a manual process. This is a pro tip I put in there. This is what I recommend. Build all of those credentials out like in a Word document, right? The name of your business, how you spell your street, because through business listings, you want that consistent across every single platform, right? Whether it is out on your Google business profile, Yelp listings, Bing listings, Facebook listings, all of that. So do it in a Word document first, and then you can just copy and paste. That eliminates the human error of you typing it in and typing it inconsistently, having a typo, things of that nature. So that's definitely what we recommend when you're building these out. We do recommend you set up a specific email address where all your social media accounts can tie into that. That way, if inquiries are coming in, messaging is coming in, it's dedicated to social media. It's a prompt for you to know this is something related to one of my social media pages. Definitely put your logo out there and use good quality photos of your facility. You don't have to hire a professional photographer. There's a lot that you can do on your own. Cameras on smartphones now are pretty darn good. You don't need to go out and buy like a Nikon or a Canon to do this, nor hire a videographer or photographer. You could do a lot of this. Just make sure, we preach this, that it's on a good sunny day. There's no trash out at your facility. But we always want it to be reflective of your actual facility. Because listen, there's a lot of great stock images out on the internet that are free of self-storage locations. And yeah, if you're in a pinch and need something, sure. But we don't want people to get confused thinking that's your facility that's got, 10 buildings, and then they pull onto your lot and you have 2 buildings. So definitely always use photos of your own facility where you can. Cover photos are extremely important, and there is a sizing guideline for all of the different photos and postings that you can do. Canva, which we'll get into a little bit later, gives you those sizing guidelines. So we love that because we don't have to there's no guesswork in it. But make sure your sizing is good. I'll go onto a lot of business pages and the sizing on their cover photos off. Literally, I went on one the other day and it was a group photo of this group, and every single person's head was cut off in the cover image. So that's alarming, right? And that was like the first thing my eyes went to. So definitely make sure you're using proper sizing. And we'll talk about that a little bit later. And like I said earlier, each one of these platforms is typically going to give you a prompt. And if anyone needs help getting started with a social media page, please reach out to Iris or I. We'd be happy to give you a quick tutorial. It's not hard. It's very self-explanatory, but if you're hesitant and you feel you need additional help, please do that. And if you have questions as we go along, again, please put those in the chat for us so we can answer those for you.
And I just want to piggyback real quick on that example you gave about the heads being cut off. Especially when you're doing a cover photo, make sure you check it on your phone and the computer. That's usually how that happens. It looks good on one and not on the other. So just
That's a good point. That's a good point. And I'll even piggyback on that. Do that with your websites as well. Make sure your websites are mobile optimized. If they are not, and somebody pulls up your website on their phone and it's not mobile optimized, I've seen some of those too. And it just looks bad. I mean, it's just a bad look. It looks unprofessional. So definitely want to make sure everything has the mobile capability that it should. So we're going to talk a little bit about, your social media strategy and planning this out. So what are the goals you have for your social media accounts, and how are you going to measure that, these goals are being met? What type of content will you post? We get this question a lot. I don't know how often to post. I don't know when to post. I don't know what to post. We're going to talk about all that in detail. What channels should you prioritize? I would at least start this and say I recommend everyone at least has a Facebook page. If you want to do LinkedIn, you want to do a YouTube channel, to show tutorial videos of what you do at your facility, like how to pack a unit, how to move properly, things like that. You can loop in a YouTube channel too. And again, Instagram's owned by Facebook, so that's a really easy connection. You can tie those 2 accounts together and it'll do a lot of the work for you if you tie them and connect them properly. But at least at a minimum, I believe all self-storage facilities should have a Facebook page. And as this develops and unfolds in the future, that's probably going to shift, right? Probably in a year from now, I'm going to be telling people they should at least have a TikTok account. Crazy to say that, but TikTok is coming, and it's coming in strong. And who's going to create and distribute the content? Is it someone on your team? Is it like hire Iris like we did and have a marketing manager that hones this whole process, and this is her baby? This is what she does for us weekly. Are you going to try to find a college intern to do it for you? I always recommend that. It could be a paid internship, a free internship, but they're in school. They're in the trenches of learning this stuff. No better person that is that fresh into learning all the new stats, all the new metrics, all the new trends, because trends are important. So college interns will work, but you definitely need to figure out who's doing what and when. If you have multiple partners within your business and you all have admin access to social media accounts, you must have a plan, because what I hate seeing, and I see it happen often, 5 different admins, they all post on the same day because they all hadn't communicated that they were all planning on posting on the same day. And then you have these 5 like arbitrary posts on social media accounts, and you can't make heads or tail of what the message even was supposed to be. So you definitely need to map that out. And how are you going to encourage your employees to share your content? They're probably on social media. No better person to follow your social media pages than your own people, and to share your promotions if you post a promotion or whatever it is that you have going on. So definitely having some communication with your managers and your team is important in this. And then again, you want to safeguard that a little bit too. Because listen, this is people's personal social media accounts. What they post is their business. I would just always be cognizant and make sure that how they post and what they post and their tone is within the culture of your business. And if it's not, then I probably would eliminate asking them to help in this process. So we're going to go into the content creation and planning, kind of the strategy that we use here at the SBOA. And there's a lot of good questions coming in, and we will get to those, I promise. So this is just kind of the way we do it, right? And there's many ways to do it, but this is the way we do it, and this is the way I would suggest it for you. So as you're planning for 2023, you have 4 different quarters. Let's take each quarter and break this down by quarter, right? Because things are fluid. Something may come up that you want to post that, maybe it's a local event or an event that you're planning that you didn't know in January is happening in October. So again, chunking this into like quarterly deliverables, I think, is the smartest way to do. Then you break that down into each month. Then you'll break that down into each week. And we'll go over a system that we use here to show that and how we tie this in. But for postings purposes, if you're just getting started, once a week is sufficient at this point, right? Get one good post out there, and we'll talk about this a little bit further. We do encourage that you incorporate major holidays into your schedule. If you're closed for Labor Day, put that out there. Thank people, let me use Memorial Day or Veterans Day as an example. Thank them for being a veteran. Give a shout out to the veterans. And maybe that week you have a promotion that, all veterans get 10% off of a unit if they come and rent. So definitely always looking at national holidays. And then there is a national holiday calendar, and it's actually really quite interesting how many national holidays there are, and some of them and what they are. Like, so we're in the month of October, right? There's a national Chucky doll holiday. I kid you not, people. There's a national Chucky doll horror movie Chucky holiday. Not relevant here, but anyway, I wanted to point out Iris found one a couple weeks ago, and I love that she did this. Iris, talk about the National Sweep Your Floors Day and what you did with that one.
Oh yeah, we had National Sweep Your Floors Day. So we, I said, who gets to celebrate that at your company? Who's gonna get assigned to sweep the floor? And
yeah.
There's always some random thing that nobody's heard of, which makes it kind of that much more entertaining. And if you can get people engaged and answering questions, that's always good for spreading the word and getting your social media account shown more in people's news feeds.
Yeah, no, definitely. Love it. So we can send a link. Iris, while I'm talking, if you have a minute, if you find that national holiday calendar and put that link out there for the audience to grab, that would be great. So we say decide on your promotions for the quarter. If you've been open and running for a few years, you know your seasonality, if you're going into lease up season, you probably know the methods you need to do for discounting and concessions to help with lease up. So definitely plan out what those promotions are going to be for the quarter, and then how your messaging is going to tie into the different promotions that you are offering. Get with other local businesses in your local community and see what events that they have planned. We are noticing that when people post about their facility, their employees, their tenants, and other local businesses, whether you're showcasing a business of the month, Universal Storage Group does that. I believe Amy's Attic out of Texas does something very similar. They're showcasing a business of the month or business of the week. It's kind of like a pay it forward. You're a good steward of your local community because that's where your tenants are coming from. And then hopefully they will do that in return for you. But you definitely want to focus on those. Those tend to perform the best versus salesy, trying to pitch them on why your facility is the best facility to rent with. We're finding post about your tenants, like your testimonials, a tenant testimonial, an employee, post, again, the post about the amenities of your facility and post about other local businesses tend to always perform better. If you are going to take this to like the next level and really be thoughtful and mindful of this, because what I hate to see is people just post to post. It's very evident when people are posting just to post. So you've got to have some methodology to this, some thought process to this, but you're going to need to plan a day to produce all of this content, whether it's a graphic content, a photo, a video content. Definitely need to plan that. You just need a couple days to plan this, right? So I want to tell you, owners and operators can do this. Your employees can do this. There's a heavy lift in the beginning. And when I say heavy, it's not super heavy, but you definitely got to get this planned out. You have to be methodical in the process rather than just shooting from the hip. I do put on here because, Facebook stories, Instagram stories, Reels, TikTok, all these short clip video mechanisms out there in social media are performing, and they're performing really well. You have about 3 seconds to capture someone's attention on social media. They're scrolling. So what is it that's going to catch their attention? We want you to be mindful of that and think of that. And typically videos are very successful in doing that. But I wanted to put this pro tip in here. All these different, and we'll probably do a secondary one to this where we'll take a deep dive into how do you actually produce a TikTok reel, or I'm sorry, a TikTok video, a Facebook reel, an Instagram reel story, because there's a lot of things you can add in there. You can add in text overlays, voice overlays. You can splice the video up into different little segments. You can add music to it. I mean, you can add stickers to it. You can add all kinds of stuff. So we'll definitely do a follow-up to this one, and we'll dig deeper into how to actually execute this. But I wanted to say, not everyone, if you're planning a video and you have a team that's remote, they all don't have to come to your central location for the day to create their portion of the video. You can give them an assignment and say, I want you to stand in front of the entrance door and wave. I'm just throwing something random out there. But then they send that video clip to you. You can take all those different little video clips through these native platforms and splice them together and come up with a really, really nice video. It does take time. It does take effort. You have to get those transitions to the point where they're pretty much seamless. But if anyone's watching TikTok, one of my favorite ones, I'm a makeup enthusiast. I love makeup. I love the women that come on with a bare face and they do this, like literally they'll do this with their hand and then boom, they've got a full face of makeup on. And that's all done through the splicing through the native form, the TikTok, the reel, the story, whatever. So it's easy to do. Just like anything, repetition, it takes time. You'll get used to it. I would love to show you all my very first Canva design. You'll probably laugh at it compared to what I can do in Canva now. Same thing with my TikTok. My very first TikTok, so super clunky, but now my TikToks are pretty good, or at least I think they are. So I follow me, or I would follow me if I were me or you. But anyway, so we'll keep going here. And I do want to get to your questions because you guys are asking some really great questions. So we recommend get that Canva account. There is a free Canva account. The Pro does not cost that much. And what the Pro will do, it's going to unlock you to all of those different templates, all of those different photos and elements that you can use. And there's not going to be that funky Canva watermark on it. No one wants to see a watermark, right? And then if you're on many different social media platforms, like we are at the SBOA. We have Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, YouTube. Am I missing any, Iris? I think that's all of them. TikTok coming soon. But anyway, so you don't have to go into each one of these platforms and make a post. There are services out there. We use Hootsuite, but CoSchedule, Social Pilot, those are some other ones you can use where you're going to take all this content you create, you're going to import it into one of these platforms, and it's going to schedule your post for you. And what's really cool, because you're going to link in all of those social media pages or accounts that you've built, as you build this up and time goes on, it's going to record the algorithm of your audience and how active your audience is and when your audience is active. And it's going to tell you you should post on Tuesdays at 4 p.m. That's the most time that your particular audience is the most active on social media. So you're going to get the most eyeballs at that time. So we definitely recommend using one of those services. Use a variety of content, make those posts as engaging as possible. That's the end goal, right? You want engagement. And we'll talk about that a little bit further. But I like this rule, the 5-3-2 rule, as you're trying to build out your content. And this is like for the month, right? So 5 of your posts should be curation. You're sharing others' content. There's a lot of great self-storage content out there, believe it or not, on social media, sharing that. But more specifically for this one, I would say sharing local businesses, what they're doing, etc. Then you're going to do 3 posts that should be your own creation. You are the creator, you produce that yourself. And then 2 posts should be just general humanizing your brand, right? That could be recognizing the national holiday. There's a human behind your brand that wants to be a good steward of the local community and thank veterans on Veterans Day, whatever that may be. So that's kind of the way we look at it here. Let's see, I'm trying to advance the slide. There we go. And I'm going to bump this one out because my little eyes can't see it. So, and if anybody wants a copy of this presentation, drop us a line in the comment section. We'll be happy to send this out, and we'll send it out to everyone actually that registered. So these are some different post types and kind of what the intention and intended result is, as well as the description. So an imagery post is exactly what it says. It's a photo, right? But you want a photo that's entertaining and that's going to grab that person's attention. Video posts, short 30 to 60 second video clips. I wouldn't get into making very long videos. Again, you have a very limited time to capture the audience, and you also have a very limited time to keep them engaged with you. So 30 seconds, 60 seconds, they'll probably watch the whole thing. The good thing too on the back end is the metrics will show you how long people are watching your video content. So you can gauge that and pivot that from that as well. But definitely the shorter, the better. You can do poll question posts. You can ask polls like, oh, and speaking of polls, go answer our poll questions in the poll section. But you can make this a post. It will solicit engagement from your audience, and it can give you some really good business intel. You can do the ask question post. If any of you know AJ Osborne out there in self-storage, his team does a really fantastic job. Scott Meyer's team does as well. Jeremiah Boucher's team does. These guys are all utilizing social media, and they're utilizing all these different post types. But basically, you can ask the audience to ask you a question. Ask me what, if I'm moving a 3-bedroom home, what size unit I should have. There's all kinds of things you can do. You can do an add yours post. And what that means is you can take a photo and then you can tell someone, like I did one, for example, the other day. It was a photo of me in my younger years. And then what the person can do in response to that is also post a photo of them in their younger years in response to yours. So that's what that means by add yours. And these are all, and some of these are not platform to platform. Some are platform specific, but I did want to just put these out there for you guys to see. Tag and mention other people in your post. That's going to expand your reach. If I make a post and I tag 10 different people, their networks are going to see that they were tagged in that post. If they have networks of 1,000 people each, and I did that to 10 different people, look at the numbers you can get in possible impressions and expanded reach. There's quiz posts where you could ask questions. You could even tie in a contest to this. Get your first month rent free if you can answer this quiz question. Link posts, like Iris mentioned earlier, you always want to do like some sort of backlinking, linking them out to your website. So that's what we mean by link post there. You can do countdown posts if you have an event coming up. You could do, event coming in a day, and you can have a countdown clock ticking on your post. And then contest post. I will say with the contest post, definitely look into each social media platform's rules and regulations around contests. I do know a group recently that did post a contest. There was like one, well, actually, they couldn't find anything in error against the community standards, but unfortunately, Facebook felt there was an error, and they shut them down, not only their umbrella account, but all of the outlier accounts, all of their location accounts. And they are now in this battle with Facebook, which if anyone has had to try to get in touch with Facebook, you probably have better chance of talking to Joe Biden himself than getting an answer from Facebook. It's a process, right? So definitely be cognizant of that. You don't want to get shut down. There are rules and regulations around the contest posts. This is just an example. Iris, I'll let you go into this one because you work with this more than I do, but this is kind of how we map out the quarter and then break it down into the month and then break it down into the week, the days of the week, and how we are going to post.
Right. So we usually, I try to on Fridays plan out the next week. Even if I don't get it scheduled and posted, at least I know what I'm going to do. Because sometimes there's some things you can't pre-schedule, like a poll. You have to do that live in LinkedIn or Facebook or Twitter. So sometimes you can just write it down and plan it so that I'm a big person for lists. So I put it on my list of things to do, make sure I post that poll on Twitter today or, the live poll. You might be putting a video to promote self-storage unlocked. We typically know if we're doing self-storage unlocked this week, I'm going to promote it on Monday and I'm going to promote it again Thursday morning so we can get some of those last minute registrations. And then video. I try to get 1 or 2 videos in a week because they are so popular and you do get a lot of interaction. I will say if you're new to creating any kind of video, I would suggest it's going to take you longer while you're learning it. Try to create a video that is what we call evergreen, which means you can post it and repost it over time. If I'm going to promote like our YouTube channel, I have a specific one I can go back and use, and I'll do it like once a month. So once a month that post, because, like Jessica said, these things can come up. The scrolling goes so quickly. You can post something and someone might miss it. So it's okay to do the same thing. Make it evergreen once a month. And then the time that you put into creating that video, you can feel like over time, it actually pays for itself. Mm-hmm. Moving tips is a great one. People are always looking for stuff like that. And then as you expand onto more social channels, I would suggest you start with Facebook and don't add on any more until you perfect one.
Amen to that. I agree with that.
Once you've done that, then you can go into Hootsuite and then you can start scheduling, the same thing on all your different platforms, but don't decide you're going to take them all on at once. Just do one at a time, perfect them. It'll be a lot less overwhelming.
Amen to that. I'm glad you brought that up. I echo that sentiment, right? Start with Facebook, get that nailed down. This is grow and scale, right? You can't eat an elephant. I know we all try, but take those bite-sized pieces, start with one and expand from there. And then I was just thinking of this while you were talking, Iris. Tragic Hurricane Ian comes through, wipes out parts of Florida, right? Social media is a great place for you to post and communicate with your audience that you were closed, that you, whatever is happening, those are those things like that are the unknown. That's why we say take this, chunk it quarterly, monthly, weekly, because you had no idea Ian was coming, but you should be posting about what your plan is. Is the facility open? Is it not open? What's the emergency plan, et cetera? So things like that come up. That's why we say I would not try to schedule out my entire year of this. Way too much. Chunk this bad boy down. And then I'm going to have Iris jump over into Hootsuite, the system we use. And again, there's tons of different softwares out there. You guys know that with your property management systems. Some are good, bad, and different. Some are very similar. Some have, this feature that's a little bit different than that one. This is the one that we like and use. So Iris, I'm going to take my screen down for a second. And there we go. Cool.
There we go. So let's just say I have created this from a template, a little Canva. I want to do a special discount for Halloween. And I go through, I can, this is where you pick which template you like. That's really convenient. That's why I love Canva. And, you want to add your logo in.
I mean, look how easy that is.
Really
She's dragging.
easy.
You're dragging and dropping, you're resizing.
A lot of the graphics, you can even change the color.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you want it to match your logo, your branding. So I can take that and download it.
Mm-hmm. So there you have it. It took her, she had that pre-populated, right? But if she was starting from scratch, that template, she manipulated a few things, added the logo, changed a few colors. If you import your brand guide, your color schematic that someone should be giving you, what like your hex code colors are and all of that, if you've worked with a marketing company, or even if you're coming up with it on your own, that way your green and your logo is the green on your building, is the green on your digital marketing pieces. All of that stays consistent. These systems know how to pick up those different colors. There are also other, if for any reason you ever lose that information, there are free templates and tools out on the web, on the internet called, one is like hex code picker. Sometimes if I'm doing a co-branded piece with one of our partners and I don't know their specific brand colors and they've not gotten back to me in time, I'll just pop that bad boy in hex code picker and it tells me exactly the color code that I need to pick. I go into Canva, I copy and paste that color code, it pulls it up for me, boom, I use it, you're done. So very easy. So Iris is starting here with Canva to build what's going to be in the content. Then she's going to take that over into Hootsuite and start scheduling.
Right. So I downloaded it and then I can go to our Hootsuite account. This is also free, and they both have free versions and then you can do upgrades. So we have the upgraded account so we can schedule more things in advance. The free version of Hootsuite, I think you can only do 5. And I like to schedule more than that, especially since we have 4 platforms.
Mm-hmm.
So I can just go and say, I want to create a post. I choose which social account it's going to. And then I can just drag that Halloween special right up here. And there it is. And here I can
super
put
simple.
Happy Halloween. And it will show you what it's going to look like on LinkedIn, what it will look like on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. And then here's where you can schedule it. So you can either have it go out right now, but look, it shows you your recommended times. So if I want it to go today, it recommends 2 p.m. With this star, it's saying you'll get even more views if you post it tomorrow between 12 and 2. So I can just click that. And again, it recommends it 2 to 4. So you can click that one, done, schedule. And now you have, in a matter of clicks of what it would take to schedule one post on one platform, you can do it on all 4. And you can
I
do
love
it with
this.
Pinterest. Yeah, you can do it Instagram Reels that lets you do that. So it's so nice and convenient. And if it hasn't gone out yet, you can still edit them. Let's say you want it to go out a little earlier, you can change the time and just save it. So it's really convenient.
And again, there's many times where, like I said, Hurricane Ian came. We weren't expecting it. I can quickly go to Iris. Hey, we need to do a post about Hurricane Ian. She can go in, manipulate from here. It takes a matter of minutes. And then, while she is doing the set it and forget it approach, she's building out the week, right? It's still very easy to manipulate. And I don't want anyone to think that marketing is set it and forget it. You need to be looking at your website analytics, your promotions, your social media marketing. This all is fluid and it takes time. And I see some really good questions. So we're going to get into those too. Iris, did you have anything that you wanted to add to that, or?
I was just going to show, if you want to do a poll, let's say on LinkedIn, and it's pretty much the same across the platforms. You just click poll. And here's where you can put your question. You can add in answers. You can add, more. I think some of them let you add up to 10. And you can decide if you want it to be a day, 3 days, a week, 2 weeks. The only thing is on Facebook, you cannot do a poll on your business page, but you can do one in a group. And another one that I like a lot for if you want to start just making short videos with your phone, UCut is an app you can download, and I'll show you real quick when I did this one.
I love this one. This is as we were getting ready for Vegas. She was packing her survival kit. I mean, Iris did all of this from her phone, and like I said, yeah, it's going to take time, guys. And I see over here, and I'll do this question while we're watching this. Jenny Patton says she's in charge of social media for 7 locations, very time consuming, even when scheduling a few at a time. 4 are within 10 to 12 miles of each other. I've been using the same generic post for all locations unless a location needs a specific post. Should each location get their own post? Yes and no. If you're running specific promotions for specific locations, then yes. If you have specific events going on at specific locations, then yes. But if you're just doing general awareness posts, I don't think there's anything wrong with all of those being the same, because most likely all of those different locations have a different set of audience and followers. So it's not like they're going to cross see that. And we will go into that in a minute about posting the same content across all the different social media platforms. There's a lot of theories out there on this topic, so we'll talk about it a little bit. So let's go back into this, and I'm going to try to crank through this because we got a lot to go over. We might go over time, so bear with us if you have time to spend with us. And, I just wanted to showcase some of these, and I'll bump this out. This was one of mine. So this is me here using like the avatar. Look at all the beautiful colors in the background. You see this little avatar with a megaphone, like that may make you stop. Or you see this cute little monkey and it says, woohoo, it's Friday. Or you see Austin Powers, that moment when you win an auction. Or you see Oprah Winfrey saying, you get a free move-in truck and you get a free move-in truck. These are some really good posts that the majority of these, I think, are from Gate 5 Self-Storage. Max and his team do a really good job. They're out of Georgia. And this is easy. There's you can create little short GIFs. You can create memes. There's all these free platforms out on the website or the internet. Just go Google free meme maker, free GIF maker, and you can put all of this into your content to make it engaging and creative, where it's not just always a photo with a caption, right?
Right. And if you have the Canva upgraded plan, you can make GIFs in there and short videos up to 30 seconds.
And again, the pro plan for Canva's, on a monthly rate is low. The pro plan, or the plan that we're on for Hootsuite on a monthly rate, is low. I'm talking, these are like less than $50 a month. These will help you. These are tools to create efficiencies within your business. So I'm going to quickly rattle through some content suggestions. Obviously, those promotions, your offers, if you're offering bundle packs, Amy's Attic, again, out of Texas, is doing bundle packs for the holiday season, something you should look at and consider. Moving and packing tips, unit size tips, and the guides, like what can you get in a 5x5? What can you get in a 10x10? Moving day tips, how to be prepared, like a moving day checklist. Have a cooler with bottle of water, have tape, have packing, box cutters, like things that you'll need. This is all stuff to help your tenants, and they're going to remember that you are a resource for them. Again, the facility events that you're having or other local events, and you can take that up a level, and you can even create event pages in most instances on some of these platforms. And then from those event pages, you can invite your audience. You can invite guests to attend and make them aware that you're having an event. Post about other local businesses, like we talked about earlier. Post about your tenants, post about your staff, showcase your team, your reviews and testimonials. If you just got a great Google review, go into Canva, make a quick little Canva, graphic, and put that out on social media. We just got a 5-star review from Jane Doe. Jane Doe says, blah, 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 blah. Post that out there. Use hashtags, but do not use them excessively. Hashtagging is a sorting and grouping mechanism through the social platforms. So make sure they're relevant, make sure they're legible. I can't talk today. I can never talk on these.
You just created a word like run.
I know. Yeah, exactly. I make my own words up sometimes. But, and 3 to 5 hashtags is enough. I cannot stand when I see 20 hashtags after a post. Guess what you've just done? You've confused the sorting mechanism out there. It doesn't even know what to sort and process because there's so many of them. 3 to 5 is sufficient, and make sure they're relevant. And like I said, legible. Don't make this, I love self-storage at Gate 5 Self-Storage because it's the best self-storage facility in Augusta, Georgia. I think that's where they are. But no. self-storage, something very succinct, short, and it's going to, do the intention of the sorting that you want it to do. Again, go ahead, Iris.
I would say for with the holidays coming up is a great time. Like Jenny was asking, Jenny, I would put some of that content creation back on those locations. It's a great time to do a team building exercise. Have each location have a contest where they each make a holiday video, and whoever makes the best one or the one that gets the most likes, even better, because they'll share it and they'll tell people to like it, right? And whoever gets the most likes gets some kind of prize. People love those videos where people, their staff is dressed up and they're singing holiday jingles and all that. It's fun, it's creative, and it does get a lot of attention, and it takes some of the workload off of you.
It does. And then again, I'll go back to tagging people. Again, what that does, it shows them to the other people in their network what you've posted because you tagged them. And then I really want people to start embracing these reels and stories and even TikTok. It's what's coming. It's relevant. And the cool thing on the flip side is you can see just how many people viewed your reel, liked your reel. I did one on my dog a couple weeks ago. That ding dong dog got like 15,000 views. He got like 600 likes, all kinds of comments. And there comes in social listening, right? Okay, whatever it was about that video, people liked and they were responding to. So listen to what people are telling you socially. Here's some more, showcase all the amenities of your facility, moving trucks, pack and ship, propane tank rental, whatever it is, your office, your packing supplies. You sell tenant insurance or tenant protection programs to protect people's stuff. You have security, make them feel secure that they're coming to your facility and renting with you. And then a lot of, I'll shout out Max again. Max at Gate 5 does a great job. He'll hop on live every once in a while. Hey, this is Max from Gate 5 Storage. Just want to let you know our upcoming promotion is da-da-da-da-da. And off he goes. It takes him, a minute to jump on live. I know Randall's on here today. Randall goes live often on Facebook to showcase stuff that he's doing at his facility. So I highly suggest you guys do that. Just a quick list of content to avoid. And most of this is probably self-explanatory. Politics and religion, stay away from it. The use of profanity. There's clean versions of the songs that you can put behind your content. Again, you're a business, you're a professional. That's what you're promoting. It's not a personal page. Definitely would stay away from the use of profanity. To the baby boomers out there, it's offensive. To the millennials and the Gen Zs or Xs or whatever they call them, probably not as offensive, but still I would stay away from it. Slandering your competition. Don't talk smack. It's not a good look, right? Irrelevant viral posts. Sure, maybe there's a post that had 5 million views, but if it doesn't have anything to do with self-storage or your business, like that makes no sense, right? Negative or derogatory content, post with spelling or grammatical errors. Have someone check your work. That is a big thing for me. Don't like it when I see it. Been guilty of it myself when I've been doing stuff quickly. We all are human. We make, mistakes, but definitely have people check your work. Again, brand inconsistent content. It's got to, fit within your brand identity for brand awareness and make that have some cohesiveness and uniformity. Unaccredited content, you definitely want to, if it's someone else's content, you need to let people know that it's not your original content and that you are sharing on someone else's behalf. Go ahead, Iris.
Just to add to that, make sure a lot of people, when they start doing this, they just go to Google Images and start looking for pictures. You can't do that. You need to there's free services like unsplash.com and pixabay.com. If you're using Canva, there's images you can upload there. You have to make sure that you're not, I've worked with businesses that got fined $25,000 for one social media post because their marketing person didn't know that they couldn't just pull something off of Google Images. Don't do that ever.
Yeah, definitely. Because there's copyright issues that you just want to stay away from, right? We just talked about this, the hashtag stuff content, 3 to 5 is sufficient. Please do not use 20 hashtags. And then this one, I'm on the fence with this one. I agree and disagree with this, right? The same message across all of your platforms. So we have 5 different platforms. You'll see right now out all of our messaging across all of our platforms is the same messaging. Some strategists suggest you don't do that because if, let's say, I, Jessica, follow all 5 SBOA pages and I see all of the same content across all of the same platforms, it may make me unsubscribe or unfollow or not like one of those channels. So just something to be thinking about in this process. Posting consistently and when. This is the biggest thing, right? Again, I said earlier, at least once a week to start. Pages that lay dormant and are not active can be perceived as an inactive business or a business that's no longer in business. So definitely want to stay away from what I don't like seeing is the page has laid dormant for 6 months to a year. And then all of a sudden you have this week of like these rapid fire posts, and then it goes dormant for 3 months. And then you got another week of rapid fire posts. Like, get in a rhythm. You're in a rhythm for your operations. You're checking your delinquencies and stuff like that. Make this part of the rhythm of your daily operations. Stop having those, oh shoot moments when it comes to posting, like, oh crap, I forgot to post today. Again, plan this out, get it in a system like Hootsuite, and you're good to go. You're set. And again, be mindful and have specific intentions in the process. Don't just post to post. And then you're going to want to review all of your analytics to make sure that this is working and that you're talking to your audience when they're most active. And we talked about that earlier. I have a lot more slides to go through, guys. I'm going to crank through this. And again, we'll probably have to have a follow-up to this one. So these are just setting CTAs, call to actions. These are some suggested CTAs that you can use. I'm not going to go over these for the sake of time. Again, we'll send this presentation out. Everybody can take a look and read this. And if they have questions, you can contact me and ask me what each one of these means. But I think I pretty much specifically laid it out. Make sure all of your posts have some form of a call to action. You want the person to act, transact, interact, engage. You want them to be doing that. So call to actions is important. Definitely recommend that you watch your competition. So you want to look out in that 10-mile radius. What are your competitors posting? How often are they posting? I would like for you to follow and like their pages. That way they come up in your newsfeed and algorithm and you'll start to see their notifications. You can just, we call it I like this term, the yoink and twist. You could yoink and twist their content and turn it into your own with your own brand identity, your brand colors, your logo, etc. Do not copy that content word for word. And then the conclusions, the metrics you should be tracking, right? So this just goes into what the measurable is and then what the definition, reach, impressions, audience growth rate, click-through rate, conversion rates, engagement rates, cost per click. That's very specific when you're doing paid advertising. You definitely want to make sure your ad budgets are being spent properly. So cost per click is a big one. Again, I'm not going to dig in too far into this because of the sake of time, but take a look at those. If you have questions, call me. And then the next 3 slides goes into the math behind this, right? Like how you figure out these different metrics. So it goes into all of those, your audience growth rate, your post reach, let's see, average engagement rate, your conversion rate, click-through rates, and then your cost per clicks. Take a look at all those metrics. Again, if anyone has any questions on those metrics, please reach out to me. I'll be happy to go over those with you. And then to wrap this up, and then there's a couple questions I'm going to get to. So I'm going to try to wrap this up in the next 5 minutes because we're already 5 minutes over. But I see that audience is sticking with us. I'm glad because listen, people call me the social media queen. I don't know if that's true or not, but I'm very active on social media. A lot of people probably have met me through social media. I'm very passionate about social media. I've owned a marketing agency before, so it's something that, I definitely want to preach the importance of out there to people. But I would say with this too, it's just something that you should definitely be aware of. And it's going to be important, especially the future of social media marketing. So these are just some cool stats about social selling. So globally, social commerce is expected to grow 3 times as fast as traditional commerce. People are not shopping, in brick and mortar anymore. They're going online to shop. So you got to meet the people where they're at. There's going to be $1.2 trillion in e-commerce sales by 2025. That's globally. That's up 492 billion as of March of this year. And then it's showing you kind of the growth rate, like 62% of this overall growth is going to be by the millennials. That's people born from 1980 to 1994, 30% capture there. And then it's followed by the different generations. Obviously, you can see the boomers are the least adoptive of it, but they still have a presence out there. Your Gen Zs, your Gen Xs, and your millennials are really the audience set that you're going to be talking to through social media. So definitely keep those metrics in mind there. And then we're going to talk real quick about social selling. I talked about it earlier. TikTok made me buy it. You can put your quick little video up there about your unit, how to pack a unit, how much your unit costs, and you can literally sell from these videos. Social selling it's a thing, and it's a real thing. Social selling, there is a method to it. And we'll probably have to do a whole separate presentation on social selling. But it's important, right? Because it works. And it goes into some stats here just about, businesses that are leaders in social selling space create 45% more sales opportunities than brands with a low social selling index, and goes into some priority statistics there. I'll let you guys all read that after this presentation. It can help your sales team build real relationships with your customers. And your customers and prospects they're already social buying. They're already on social media. You need to meet them where they're at, and your competitors might be doing it. So you've got to do this, because if not, your competitors are going to do it, and they're going to capture the business and not you. And then best practices for social selling, establish your brand as providing value. From that value, be a good resource for people that they will then know, like, and trust you and want to do business with you. Listen strategically and build those relationships with the right people. Keep it real. There needs to be a human element to your brand, and keep it consistent. Be consistent in this process. That is all on the slide deck. So I do want to get into a couple questions. We have a few more minutes. So audience, if you have questions, please ask those in the chat now. I will pop up Stacy's question here real quick. Let me remove this. So Stacy is asking us, what are your thoughts about blogs that are posted on your website and linked on socials? I think, Iris, you answered that, right, in the chat?
Yeah, blogs are great evergreen content. When you make a brief description for your social post, put some keywords in there that people might be searching for, a couple of hashtags, and then just make sure you put read more here, and you have the link back to your website. It's a great way to drive people to your website.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely. And then Eric's asking, let's see, this one's a long one. Let's see if I can get it up there. It's okay. Oh, sorry. Yeah. When clicking on a competitor's post, it would appear on our feeds to monitor their activity. Should we be clicking from our business page or personal page? If done from business page, doesn't it work also on the reverse, meaning competitor will also see our post? I think you could do it from either or. What do you care if your competitor sees your post? I wouldn't care. I would want my competitor to know they know what you're doing anyway, most likely. I mean, if there's a smart business person, they're researching it, right? We are always looking in that 1, 3, 5, and 10 mile to see what people are doing. And it's probably happening on the reverse. So I wouldn't even look at that as a threat. They're already looking, maybe they see your marquee sign, or they've mystery shopped, they've called your location and asked your manager for your specials and your pricing. They're doing it anyway. So I wouldn't think that following them from business or personal page would make a difference. Iris, I don't know if you feel differently on that. You can tell me.
No, but there's actually a way, if you want to monitor your competitors in Facebook and LinkedIn in the back end, you can set it up so you can see how their posts are performing without clicking on their posts or even following them. So, and then that's kind of cool, because you can see what's working for them. What's driving people to their website, and you don't want to copy their content, but it might give you some ideas of what to put in yours.
Yep. Let's see. We've got Jillian saying, how would you recommend presenting self-storage products, considering the majority of products and items advertised on social media are impulse buys? Again, and I'll say this, social media as of right now, I think where it stands for self-storage facilities and renting units, or buying, retail products, or buying tenant insurance or tenant program protection programs, they're not traditionally transacting and doing that from the social media page. The social media page is really like an awareness type style campaign where it's going to drive them to where they really need to find where they need to transact with you. And that's going to be on your website, or that's going to be calling your facility. So again, making sure your listing is consistent, your phone number is accurate. I think Facebook, you can call. I know you can from Google Business Profile, but a lot of these you can call directly from the source, right? You can hit call now and it's going to call you right from there if you have the phone number listed properly. We also ask that you, if you do list a phone number, make it one of those tracking type phone numbers in case you do miss the call. Obviously, if you miss the call, you're potentially missing a rental. You know, there's really no brand loyalty or brand preference right now in self-storage. It's whoever's closest and who has the best pricing, but there still needs to be an awareness out there on social media. You have to, your competitors are out there. Again, why wouldn't you be? I see Michelle's asking, I missed most of it with an owner. It will be on YouTube tomorrow for a replay. Yes. I think we got to all the questions. I'm just scrolling up real quick. I know Jim Ross asked if he's still here. What are some self-storage locations or operators that are using social media the best, in my opinion? Like I think I mentioned them throughout the call. Amy's Attic in Texas, Max Valentin, Gate 5 Self-Storage in Augusta, Georgia. Chad Lundberg, the storage group in Michigan, does a really good job. James Reed out of Missouri, Storco Self-Storage does a good job. Some of the bigger players, Storage Asset Management and Absolute Storage Management, they're doing it. Melissa Stiles even has her team right now working with influencer marketing. It's working, it's relevant, it's low cost. We can have a whole separate session with Melissa on that topic because it's a great topic. But those are some of the ones, Jim, that I would recommend that you go take a look at. And then the last question I think that I have, Jillian had asked, as we are seeing a decline in engagement and new users joining Facebook, what do you feel is the benefit of Facebook over other social platforms? Even though the experts are predicting that TikTok is going to take over, Facebook is still a behemoth, right? And they own Instagram. You got to be there, whether the engagement rates are starting to trickle down and TikTok is taking over. But these are things that you're going to be looking in your metrics to figure out where should you be and where should you be posting and where are people being most responsive to your post. It's all going to be in that process of reviewing it. Like I said, this is not a set it and forget it. This is something that you need to keep looking through, mining through. We do a lot of A/B testing. There are some posts. I should have shown this one as an example. We did a post because we have our Storage for Rookies program for newer owners and operators, and we were offering ownership in a self-storage facility. Now, did I mean we were handing them the keys to a self-storage facility? Absolutely not. It was a play on words. We were giving them stock in one of the REIT companies, which is still you're technically an owner when you own stock, right? We got a lot of bad social listening from that one. Lots of angry faces, a lot of people saying that it was spam. It was not. I left it up. I was asked if I took that post down, and I said, no, I left it up because I wanted to prove the fact that it was a relevant promotion and we were giving someone ownership in a self-storage facility. But no, we were not handing them the keys to the kingdom. So again, it's something to think about. But listen to that social listening. If you get angry faces or, you're not getting likes, you're not getting hearts, you're not getting comments, you're not getting shares, things of that, you're probably posting the wrong stuff. And again, there's no real science to this, right? We come up with what we think is going to work. We review the analytics. If the analytics prove that it worked, we do a rinse and repeat in most of those situations. If the analytics didn't work, we meet as a team and try to figure out, okay, well, that strategy didn't work. What are we going to do in the future to make this work?
Well, I think you also have to know your demographic. So if you're in a college town, you want to be on Instagram and TikTok. If you're in a retirement community in Florida, you want to be on Facebook. If you're business to business, you want to be on LinkedIn. So that's going to be a big player in, where you decide to start.
Yeah, and like a lot of, there's some third-party management groups on here today, right? LinkedIn's probably a good spot for you. You're trying to get other self-storage facilities to utilize your third-party management. Definitely have a LinkedIn. That's the B2B platform, right? B2C is going to be more on the Facebook side, et cetera. Thank you guys all so much for attending today. We're going to wrap this up because we are 15 minutes over. I promise this is going to be something that we are going to keep building on because Iris and I both, I think, really believe in the power of we're marketing people, right? So we want to talk about this. We want to help owners and operators do this because, like I said, utilizing a marketing agency is not a bad scenario at all. However, a lot of them cost a good amount of money on a monthly retainer. And then that does not even include your ad budgets that you want to put towards pay-per-click advertising, Google, Facebook, etc. So we just want to make sure that you're getting the best bang for your buck, and that if this is something that you can in-house easily, which we believe you can, we want to teach you guys how to do it. So thank you guys so much for attending today. I hope you got some good information out of this. The replay will be available tomorrow on our YouTube channel. Because we're talking about social media, like I said, go like, subscribe. On Facebook, Instagram, we have private groups on Facebook and LinkedIn that you can join and be part of. Go follow us on YouTube, Twitter, all of the things that we're on. I can't even remember all the ones that we're on at this point. We'll be on TikTok probably in 2023. We'll send this presentation out to everyone that registered.
Yeah, be sure to subscribe to our YouTube, and then you'll get a notification when the new video is up and ready to be viewed.
Love it. Peace out, everyone. Have a good rest of your Thursday. Thanks for joining us. Thanks, Iris, for helping me co-host this great marketing topic.
Thank you. Thanks, everybody.
Bye, everyone. Take care.